Your Career, Module 7. Module 7 is all about picking your A-team, who you surround yourself with. They say that we become the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. They say birds of a feather flock together. And I agree entirely. If you choose your reference group right, that can be the difference between success and failure. Many, many times I've worked with a variety of people who, if the people at their home and the people that they love and their reference group stay the same while they're trying to grow, what happens is they end up being pulled back. Let me explain. If you think about an anchor is designed to keep you in place, to keep you where you are. And there's 2 sides of an anchor, positive, negative. A positive anchor is something that you use to anchor your thoughts, anchor your feelings, and anchor your emotions. It's an internal thing that you have set in yourself to anchor yourself. It's called anchoring. But then there's also the physical anchor, which is a negative anchor. Well, in this case, it's negative. It's when you hold something down and keep it in place. Now, what happens with your reference group is some of them might be anchors, the negative ones, the ones that want to keep you where you are and keep you the same as you've always been. And this is where the imbalance happens. As you're trying to grow, you've already done chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now this is 7. So you have had a little bit of a mind shift. The things that you've learned, the things that you understand, the way that you think has all been challenged and changed and adapted. The limitations that you had before are no longer there. You understand the psychology of success. You understand why some people are more successful than others. You've really figured it out. This is the thing that could actually wipe you out. And that is if you surround yourself with people who are not trying to reach a goal. If you surround yourself with people who are not like-minded, and you surround yourself with people who think very differently to you, what's going to happen? 2 things. The first thing is that you are going to start judging them. You will start looking at them and possibly criticizing them for the way that they live their lives. The second thing that could happen is that you could actually say, I want to be friends with them. I'm going to change who I am. And when you're around them, you adapt your personality and morph into the old you so that they are okay. And both of these are not okay. One, if you start judging people, that's not kind and it's not nice because they don't know what they don't know. And the other thing is if you start adapting and molding yourself into somebody else, that's going to be very dangerous because for the last however many weeks or months, you have been making a conscious effort to be somebody else. You've created new pathways in your brain where you continuously keep doing the same things over and over again. You've worked on your daily routines, you're saying the positive affirmations, writing your goals, looking for the positive, surrounding yourself with knowledge and wisdom and goal setting, and you've basically changed the way that you live in this world. And you've been exposed to so many new things and so many new concepts. So if you think that you're capable of pretending to be somebody else when you're around the people that are your long-term family and friends, you are mistaken, because what will happen is these grooves that you've created in your personality can easily be undone. It's taken you years to become the person that you were when you started this course or when you started watching these videos. It's taken you years to become that person, and we're slowly unpicking and we're slowly changing the way that we think and our habit patterns. So if you suddenly say, well, when I'm with these people, I'm going to behave in my old way, it's going to be different to have 2 personas, unless you're Beyonce and you're Beyonce Knowles and Sasha Fierce, and she does that really well. But for yourself, it's not going to be great for your own mental health, because you're going to know that you're not being true to yourself and you're not going to want to go, and then you might start making up stories why you can't go. Obviously, this is all if we're outside, but right now we're in the lockdown, so you're in a position actually where you can say, I'm unavailable to speak to you because I'm really busy getting on with loads of stuff. I'm doing personal development, I'm growing, I'm learning, so I don't physically have the time to chat, but I'm watching you on Facebook and liking you, and I'm wishing you well. But what you must understand is you can't be 2 people. For this time, during this time, you really need to just ask yourself what's important. Is it important that you grow and develop and reach your big goals? Or is it important that you have banter and jokes with your old time friends? I just think it's important that you focus on yourself. You've done so well so far. Why would you let this get in the way? When I first started to want to develop and grow and really change my mindset, I recognised that everything that I'd been doing up until that point wasn't helping me. If you think about it like a balance sheet, everything you do to develop is like a credit, and everything that you don't do is like a debit, and everything that you do that works against you is a debit. The idea is to do as many things as successful people do continuously over and over and over again, so you keep giving yourself credit on your balance sheet. And what I mean is, success is lots of little things that nobody ever sees. It's lots of little things. This means that if you're trying to reach a goal that you've never reached before, then you have to look at every aspect of your life. You have to look at the people you spend your time with. You have to look at the way you spend your time. You have to look to see what you're being influenced by. You have to change the things that you focus on. It's completely redesigning your life. And that does mean that the people in your life, maybe it's your best friend for 20, 30 years, they might have to sit on the bench because you're trying to pick an A team, a winning team, a team of people that are hungry and that are focused and that are driven and that are trying to reach a goal, something that they've never achieved before. And you won't be able to do that if the people in your team are chilling. If you hang around with people that are not in a rush, always taking their time, never really on a mission, then what will happen is that they will drag you down. And this is a really difficult module to talk to you about, because these are people that we love and that we care about and who love us and who care about us. But what happens is when you try to change, those people get afraid because they're thinking, well, you're not going to be the person that you used to be. And I'm not saying that it's about cutting out anybody who's not like you, but it's about recognizing that if you want to thrive and you want to reach your big goal, then you're going to have to make a sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice some of the company, some of the people that don't add any value to your life. And that sounds selfish, but if, like I said with the balance sheet, if the people that you're spending your time with are constantly irritating you and you're constantly having to sell to them the idea that thinking differently can work, if you feel like you're always trying to get them to see things from your point of view, you're trying to get them to watch YouTube videos that you recommend, you're trying to get them to read books, go on courses, if you feel like you're trying desperately to get the people that you care about to get on board with you, then you have to ask yourself two questions. One, how long am I willing to try to get this person to change? And two, am I willing to let this person stop me from changing? And then you have to make a decision, because I know for definite that if the people surrounding you are not cheering you on, then you won't make it, because during the journey of self-discovery, self-success and goal achievement, you will get knocked down more than once. And there are going to be times when your face is in the mud and you're thinking you're not going to get up. You need people around you cheering you on and saying, get up, come on, you can do it. This is what happens when you try to do that. When you run that fast, your feet go so fast and don't connect to your brain and you end up tripping up over your feet. This happens, it's happened to me. Get back up, get back up. They're the people around you who are cheering you on. But if you've got a group of people around you that are not cheering you on, when you fall down, they go, I told you shouldn't have done that. I told you were going too fast. I told you shouldn't have been thinking about that. Now look what happened. See now, you've just been disappointed. See, it's sometimes better not to even try. Those are the kind of things that people will say who don't think like you, because they'll go, I don't even know why they're bothering trying to do that. It's so unrealistic. It's never going to work. So the minute you fall on your face, they go, told you so. Come on, come back to my way of thinking. Stop thinking about all of that positivity stuff. Just just accept that life is pretty, mediocre. That's what they'll be saying, and that's what they'll be thinking, and they'll be desperate to get you back to them. And that's not because they're bad people. It's because you're going to scare them. Because if you can do it and you can make it and you can succeed and you've had similar upbringings or you're from the same family and they know you, then they have no excuse for why they're not succeeding. You're basically reflecting a mirror to them, showing them what they could do when they see you do it. And that scares them, because then they have no excuses. Because usually when you think about people who are successful, they're people you don't know. They're people who you think grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth, or maybe they've got a rich uncle, whatever. You have all these preconceived ideas of how people have become successful and how they've got to the top of their field. But when you actually do it and you're just a regular person just like them, that shakes their reality and they can't cope with that, because then they've got no excuse. So what I'm saying to you, this module is all about, look, you've made it more than halfway through the course. You've made it more than half through the audio. You've made it more than half through the book. Let's not go backwards. You have to start editing some of the people out of your life. And when I say editing, I don't mean forever. I mean put them on the bench. Put them on the bench. Let them stay there. Let them get busy moaning and complaining to other people. Let them get distracted doing their own stuff while you focus on your target. And then when you reach your goal, you can then go back to them and say, I've done it. And they'll be happy for you. But don't expect them to be there running beside you, giving you water and cheering you on, because they don't have the capacity. They don't know what you know. And if they did know what you knew, they would already be on your A team. So if you don't have a network of happening friends, neither did I when I started this, then what you need to do is you have to turn to the internet. And the beautiful thing is, this is lockdown season. So you can go on YouTube, you can watch TED Talks, you can find anyone you want. I'd say that Jim Rohn says you become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. I spend most of my time with Oprah Winfrey, Les Brown, Brian Tracy, Eckhart Tolle, Ilana Van Zandt, and I'd say Simon Sinek. So I'm spending my time with some really cool people who are doing some great things in this world. And those 5 people, they alternate between like Einstein and Bill Gates and other successful people that I'm inspired by. You know, maybe I'll watch Tina Turner's story and I'll look at biographies of people who've achieved things that have changed the world, like Roger Bannister, like I talk about him in my book later on. But basically, you have the opportunity to actually create a network of happening friends by who you watch on YouTube, who you read, who you pick, whose books you read, whose courses you go on, who you spend your time talking to. And it is thrilling. It is absolutely thrilling and incredible when you start to really change the way that you think about things. And when you have a goal, something that you're striving to, your self-esteem rises. It rises so much because you are working towards something that means something to you. Please, just remember, you become the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. Decide who you want to spend your time with and who you want standing in your corner, fighting and cheering for you. Who you want standing in your corner, fighting and cheering for you. I'll see you on Module 8.